What is up, everybody? Back with a collection update here, and as you can see, I'm not in my normal spot. I'm actually out of town right now, but I found a really great record store, so I thought I'd run through and show what I got real quick. 19 albums total, a mix of vinyl, CDs, and cassettes. So I'm going to start off with the vinyl. First one up is Kingdom Come's self-titled debut album. Fantastic stuff. Lenny Wolf on vocals, one of my favorite singers of all time. Really great album here. Really cool stuff I found in the store. Was not expecting to see this. No Prayer for the Dying by Iron Maiden. Really good album from 1990. I think it gets a lot of unfair hate. I think it is pretty solid. Next up is the album Inside the Electric Circus by Wasp, which this came out in 1986, their third album overall. Really good stuff. Blackie Lawless on vocals. Fantastic as always, and this one goes hand in hand with that. It's a 95 Nasty single, which was on that album. Really good song. Great find. Was really happy to get that. Next up is going to be Things You've Never Done Before by Roxgang. Really good, like 80s glam metal. This came out in 1988, I think. If you're not familiar with it, definitely go listen to the song No Easy Way Out. That is definitely my favorite on this album. Next up is Hell Hath No Fury by Rock Goddess. This is a all-female trio that came to prominence during the new wave of British heavy metal. They're from England. This is their second album. It's the US edition cover, but I think it's a really cool cover. It's a good album. Cool stuff. Great find. Another really cool one here, Land of the Damned by Diamond Rex. This is this band's debut album. Came out in 1986. Glam metal type stuff. The vocals remind me a bit of Ron Keel, so definitely recommend this one. Good stuff. Another really cool album here, World Gone Mad by CJSS. It's got a little damage on the bottom, but that's alright. This is actually another band of David T. Chastain's, the guitar player from the band Chastain. I think he's one of the best, most underrated shredders of the entire 80s, really of all time. He's a really fantastic guitar player. And my last vinyl record I'm going to show is the album Detonation by the band Bloodgood. This is a Christian metal band from the 80s. This album came out in 1987. It's their third overall. It's not like some cheesy stuff like you would expect. It's got a bit of like speed metal influence to it. Just great classic heavy metal from the 80s. I guess I'll show the cassettes next. I got Tear by Black Sabbath. Very happy to find this. Great album, 1990, Tony Martin on vocals. Very underrated, great stuff. Spread Eagle, self-titled debut album from 1990. Another great one. And No Rest for the Wicked by Ozzy Osbourne. Came out in 1988. His first was Zakk Wylde on guitar. And you saw the prices on here, 8, 8, and 10, but he gave them all to me for $10. That's a great deal. It's because I bought so much stuff. And I won't say too much about my opinion on these albums right here. I'm going to start with the CDs now because I might rank this band's albums pretty soon, but I got Sound of White Noise by Anthrax and Stomp 442. John Bush on vocals, their first two with him. He's a great singer, came over from Armored Saint, but I'll save my opinions for those for that video. The Headless Children by Wasp. Cool album, came out in 1989. The Warning by Queensryche. This is their official full-length debut album, which a lot of people consider the EP to be the debut, but this is their first full-length, one of the best debut albums of all time. Really good stuff. Next up, The Ultimate Sin by Ozzy Osbourne. Great album, came out in 1986. It is actually my favorite Ozzy album. Last one with Jake E. Lee, unfortunately. He was my favorite Ozzy guitar player. Got two more to show here. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge by Van Halen. Came out in 1991. Trying to get the glare off of this. Sorry about that, guys. But this is definitely my favorite with Sammy Hagar on vocals. Judgment Day. Probably my favorite song of that entire era. And the last one I'll show is the Hangar 18 single on CD, which I have a ton of Megadeth stuff, but I do not have this, so happy to add this to the collection. Hangar 18, obviously, fantastic song, rest in peace, greatest album of all time. But that stuff all came from Revolution Records. Highly recommend to go check the store out if you're ever in the Cape Coral, Florida area. Not the biggest store ever, but definitely I'd say the best selection I've ever seen in person. So go check it out if you're around. And I hit 2,000 subscribers recently, so thank you guys for that. I've got some more top 10 albums of the year lists, some more band discography rankings, some more top 10 or 20 song lists coming pretty soon. So until next time, thank you for watching.